Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe. I welcome you to the third episode or the third installment of the Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. This morning I'm going to share with you top 10 tips for successful pitching. Top 10 tips for successful pitching. The reason why I think this subject is important is that over the last 2 years or so, I've been approached by a number of young entrepreneurs who have come to me with their business ideas, who have proposed this and that. And even as recently as 3 days ago, I was sitting in front of 13 entrepreneurs who were pitching different ideas to me to see whether I'd be interested in investing with them. Now, here are the top 10 tips for successful pitching. Number one, be confident in terms of what it is you have to offer. Be confident in your product offering. Be confident in what your business is about. Make eye contact with the potential investors as you are pitching. Be sure that you portray that confidence and it comes across clearly. Number two, involve the investor early. Don't wait for 30 minutes before you indicate how the investor is involved. As soon as you come in, within a short space of time, certainly within the first 2 or 3 minutes, you must indicate the investor how he's going to be part of what you're about. If it's a pitch involving shareholding, if it's a pitch involving equity, you must indicate clearly what amount of equity you are offering to the investor. Is it 10%, 20% of shareholding in your business in exchange for what amount of money? Number three, you have to have mastery over the subject. You have to come across as having knowledge, having industry knowledge of what you're talking about. You have to show competence, and that's not something you can fake. This is not a case of fake it until you make it. You have to come across as understanding what you're about. Number four, be quick to demonstrate proof of concept. What I mean by that is that don't take too much time to get into the numbers. Go to the proof of concept in terms of what the projected sales are. Are there any orders that you've received from potential customers? Are there any good prospects for the business that we are talking about? In other words, proof of concept is vital. Number five, be a visionary. Also paint a vision of where you want the business to be. Take the investor along. Take the person to whom you are pitching along in terms of showing the long-term anticipated vision of what it is you want to achieve and what sort of business you want to be running. And number six, disclose any pain points. What do I mean by that? Indicate any troublesome areas in your business that you think you're still working on. Entrepreneurs are not perfectionists, and the investor has probably gone through a lot himself. So he will know that your business is not 100% perfect. So if you lead him to the pain points or the difficult areas that you're still working on, he will appreciate your level of integrity, your genuineness, your openness about that. Number seven, focus. What do I mean by that? I mean that don't be thrown off course. Often the investor will throw one or two questions at you. And what I've seen some young entrepreneurs do, once a difficult question is thrown at them, they lose focus altogether. They lose orientation. The important thing is that as soon as you've answered the question, however difficult it is, and not knowing the answer is also acceptable sometimes, you go back to what you were pitching in the first place and go back to what you were talking about. Number eight, have some samples available. Have some indication of what it is that you are selling. If it is a product, have a prototype, have an indicator of what sort of product you are manufacturing or intend to manufacture. If it is a service, have something, a prop, something, I'm talking about maybe a uniform, a cap, or something that relates to the type of industry that you want to embark upon. Don't just come totally empty-handed. Number nine, demonstrate where the money is going to be applied. Be quick to show the entrepreneur or the investor to whom you are pitching how you're going to apply the money that you're asking for. If you're asking for 250,000, 1 million, how is that 1 million pula going to make a difference in the business? Show what you're going to purchase with that 1 million. Is it for payroll? Is it for purchase of equipment, machinery? Is it for rental? You must demonstrate that in your presentation. Number 10, explain your role personally. What entrepreneurs need to understand is that the investor is buying not just into your business, but primarily into you. The investor has to like you. He has to know your level of commitment. So when you are pitching, show your level of involvement in the business. In other words, how many hours are you going to be spending in that business? How committed are you? Is it a 24/7 kind of commitment? And the level of commitment is what normally makes a difference between getting the investment or not getting the investment. So be quick, or be, I keep saying be quick, but what I want to say is that it's very, very important to get to that level. I've had a pitch 2-3 days ago where the investor was more interested in telling me how many people he's going to employ, how he was going to employ a CEO to take over the business and run it for them. That to me is unacceptable, especially at the incubation stage of the business, at the infancy stage of the business. You need to babysit that business as an entrepreneur, and that commitment has to come across early. Number 11, this is a bonus. I always throw a little bonus at you. Have fun. This one is so important, ladies and gentlemen. Have fun. Don't look like you're under pressure or you are pressed or you're dragged there kicking and screaming. Make it clear that you're enjoying what you are doing. Have fun. You can throw a little joke even here and there, but the important thing is that to come across as enjoying the activity. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. And if you like what we're offering, please don't hesitate to subscribe and to give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.